bit set of delays, but we are finally here. Kind of weird way to start, but that's the only thing I can think of. Hey guys, EndoPlasmite here. We're back with the next episode of EndoPlasmite Plays Pokemon LeafGreen. As you can see from both the time that's on the screen, as well as the factor that it just says Hall of Fame debut, which isn't really that reliable, I have been playing a bit off screen, as I said I was going to do at the end of the last episode. And as you see, there's only just the one team. Let's try to work on getting these guys higher up in level. Exactly level 70 is where I wanted to get them for this specific episode. I think I'm going to have a much better shot to actually tackling the Elite Four, especially because grinding the Elite Four was actually my main method of getting experience. So, just to double check on everything going on, this is the setup that is the same as it's been before. Well, almost. Yeah, switching that around because I kind of do need that. And there were some things that I discovered along the way. But before I do that, I actually think I need to restart my computer real quick. Again, because it definitely keeps stopping randomly. And we are back with our regularly scheduled broadcast. Let's hope specifically that we don't run into any more situations like that again, so those do tend to get a little bit annoying, if I may be honest. So the intention on this is very simple. We're going to go through the process of challenging the Elite Four again, but this time we got stronger Pokemon and a strategy. Unfortunately, some of the strategy does involve a little bit of luck. Some. This is the first part of luck. That's burning up the full restore. Strange if you think about it. I thought Brick Break does more damage than Rock Slide. Oh well. Now, fun twist. Without the Quick Claw, Flareon is actually still faster than Piloswine. Another fun fact from the experiments I tried. With the stab bonus, even with Flareon have a low special attack, it's still enough to take out Piloswine. Cloyster gets switched around with Starmie. Because one of the strategies with it is to use Venusaur and just use Frenzy Plant. Lapras, on the other hand, is going to be one of my most annoying problems, as even with just trying to use Starmie, if I remember right, it still is not enough to take it out yet. We also have Thunder to worry about. Now here's where things get a little bit more annoying too. Just like before, me trying to use Flareon against Jinx is not the best bet, but it's a good safe bet if Flareon can get off the Shadow Ball first. Otherwise, I'm going to be pelted with status moves. right now, that's kind of all that we really have to worry about for Flareon so far. Rounding out the next fight, as we've seen before, it kind of repeats the same way. Bruno is going to use 2 Steelixes back to back, so throwing out Starmie is actually going to be our safest bet. It's our quickest bet too. So all Starmie has to do is just use Surf. Next Pokemon he's probably going to throw out is Hitmonlee. Yep. Which, funny enough, actually is when Dodrio comes into play. As could be incorrect. As long as this hits, this should actually take it out in one hit. Hitmonchan, however, is a bit different. Because Hitmonchan, even with using Fly, it still won't take it out. So you either would just use Tri-Attack twice and hope for a status effect, or you use Fly once and you just waste the time. Champ, we just switch back with Starmie. But also, if I remember right, even with switching to Starmie, it's going to take 2 hits. I think. Could be wrong. So he'll use full restore on Machamp, but it gives me a chance to try to use something to status affect it. And if it gets unlucky, which has happened sometimes, it'll still leave a sliver. This time around, I did get lucky though. It's only been 9 minutes into the recordings so far, if anything. And I've only had to use 3 max potions. Now's where things get a little annoying. As with Agatha, once again, I have to deal with luck. Just like with Jinx, I have to keep my fingers crossed that somehow Quick Claw is able to take out the first Gengar on its own. And if not, just like with Jinx, I'm just going to get pelted constantly with status moves. Status moves are pretty much, I think, similar for either instance. One's a confusion move and one's a sleep move. And then both of them have Psychic. See, there's the confusion move. The advantage, at least, though, the advantage is that Hypnosis is not Spore, so it doesn't hit 100% of the time. Unfortunately, this is enemies using status moves against myself. This is not the Psychic one, this is the Shadow one. If this hits itself on Confusion, I'm switching Flareon out. We will reuse Flareon later. Now, Arbok is funny because I have completely let something slip in my mind. Pinsir has Hyper Cutter, so Arbok's Intimidate does nothing. So, Earthquake won't take it out in 2 hits. Well, the Earthquake will take it out in 2 hits, but it won't take it out in 1. That's what I mean. So I need to do some form of damage first. And you have to move quick on that, because otherwise Arbok's just going to spam a bunch of double teams. Crobat. We're actually switching back to Starmie. And this won't take it out. Oh, we got lucky. Crobat has more special defense than defense, so even with a super effective hit, I didn't think it was going to work. The second Gengar I have to use Starmie with, as it is too much of a risk to try to use Flareon. I got lucky there. And Misdreavus can once again use Flareon. Now the funny thing is, with all the Pokemon that I've been using so far, there's still 2 Pokemon I haven't even used. And it won't always be that way. So, before I go further on that, only 1 Pokemon needed a max potion. Now, in this same strategy as before, Starmie needs to be the first one to come out. Also, probably going to save real quick, because I haven't saved yet. Alright. This is where the teams get a little annoying, and all just because of one specific Pokemon, the same Pokemon that I've been having trouble with. Aerodactyl. This was nothing. Even in the first set of attempts, Starmie using Thunderbolt was fine. The annoying thing is, even with Never Melt Ice, there is still a chance that it won't take out Dragonite. Nope. Here we go. If it takes out the one, it'll definitely take out the other, because the other Dragonite is level 66. is actually the first instance of us using Venusaur. As in the reality of it, some Pokemon are probably not that great to fight against Kingdra, and some of them are kind of good. Nothing's 100% perfect to take out Kingdra, though. And the thing to keep in mind with Kingdra as well is aside from it, I think it had Hyper Beam, I could be wrong. But it using Dragon Dance doesn't help it out at all. Kinda wish it was poisoned from the start. Because that would have been enough to actually take it out then. So what I need to do actually is use Giga Drain first. And the NPC made a stupid call, because again, boost speed and boost attack, but Kingdra doesn't really have an attack move except for Hyper Beam, if it does have Hyper Beam. But it's gonna keep trying to use Ice Beam instead. Oh, there we go, there's Hyper Beam. Not enough to 100% take out Venusaur. This would be a good opportunity because of the fact of Venusaur's health being low to take advantage of Overgrowth. But we're up against Aerodactyl. There is only one choice. And that's with Starmie with the stab bonus of Surf. Alrighty. Now the first time that I fought up against Red, I think Pidgeot... Yeah, Pidgeot was the first one. But I don't remember if Pidgeot's actually in his party the second time around. He replaces at least one of his Pokemon, and it's Tyranitar. But I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that he replaces it with. I don't remember. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use Dugtrio first. Might be a bad idea as a start, but we'll see. Hey Endo, you came back, Endo. Haha, that is so great. My rival should be strong to keep me sharp. While working on my Pokedex, I looked all over for Pokemon. Not only that, I assembled teams that would beat any Pokemon type. And now, I'm the Pokemon League champion. Endo, do you know what that means? I'll tell you, I'm the most powerful trainer in the world. Alright, let's see what he's got as his first choice. Oh. Well, that might be a bad choice for him. Yeah, when you add in the factor of the lax incense, yeah. I just thought of something too. Dugtrio's ability is Sandstream, no, Sand Veil. So if there is a sandstorm, it has higher evasiveness, and then you factor in the lax incense, not lax bugs. Anyways, you get the point I'm trying to bring up. Essentially, I have a Pokemon that is very hard to hit. This is probably going to take more than one hit, because I think Exeggutor has a high amount of defense. But luckily, it's enough that he shouldn't be using a full restore. I really want to be a troll right now. Because Tyranitar has Sandstream. So this is double evasiveness. Missed. That's why I was making the joke of it being a troll. And I know this isn't enough to take out Tyranitar, but I figured I might be lucky and I might drop its defense a little bit. If I wanted to, I could technically use a full restore. Nah. We're not playing Nuzlocke, so there's no issue here. He still misses anyways. Okay, one more time. Of course, now it decides to use Aerial Ace. Poison might seep in. Let's see what happens. That was enough. Oh, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna try something to see if it actually works. Because somehow Pinsir is actually faster than a Charizard. Okay. Somebody explain that. This is an annoying one. But this goes back to the Gengar and Jinx strat. If I strike first, I might have a chance. Well, it's worth a shot. Oh, I'm still alive. Wow. I don't think Flareon was much help the first time that I ever played against the Elite Four. We know what's going to happen here. Or do. It's very likely that it may not work. It might take 2 hits. Nope, that's it. Blue's been taken down. No, that can't be. You beat me at my best. After all that work to become the league champ, my reign is already over. It's not fair. This is just a repeat to what it was before. Just kind of run through. We're in there with a strategy. And only one Pokemon fainted that entire time, and that was just because I was trolling around with it. But it worked so well, and I might have to keep that in mind for future stuff. The only difference is I might change up Dugtrio's Rock Smash later on. So for those watching at this specific point, I don't know what exactly happened, but something went wrong with my microphone, as the audio has just gotten completely garbled up. So, as a result of that, I have to pretty much re-explain everything that I was just talking about for the next 5 minutes. Yay. Well, it's actually less than 5 minutes, but you get the picture. So essentially what I was trying to explain at this specific point is that the team of 6 that is on here, as well as any Pokemon that I needed to transfer over to Fire Red because I had no means of originally getting it over there, such as Porygon turning into Porygon 2, now that I have upgrades, and getting the Dragon Scale over so I can evolve Seadra into Kingdra, that will happen behind the scenes. Since again, Pokemon Fire Red is the social hub pretty much that has all the Pokemon that are present. The next thing that would happen is, just like I've been doing normally behind the scenes, Pokemon XD is usually the main game that I end up playing offline in order to try to actually level up the Pokemon. And part of the leveling up process kind of pertains to something else I'll cover in a small bit. This would ordinarily be the last thing that happens for Pokemon LeafGreen. But the thing is, we still got one more specific trick to figure out. And it's one of those that I've been debating on trying to do, but in all things considered, I'm just going to do it. And there is a means of getting to Naval Rock and Birth Island using the cheat code process for Epilogue. The thing is, kind of going back to something else that related with people doing Fire Red and LeafGreen on the Switch. Both of those passes are now available for individuals that have played the game on the Switch for free. Like it's built into the game. So at this point, there should be some level of fairness to allow myself to be able to try to do the same. And these kind of fall in line with a previous comment that I made about the shiny Pokemon that will be obtained through those will not be used competitively. What I mean by that specifically is actually regarding the 100-man battle for Pokemon Coliseum. If you go through and you complete the 100-man battle without changing your team of 6, you get a Ho-Oh for free. The thing on that, though, is that's my competitive viewpoint. Whatever Pokemon that I get that is shiny, I will not use in that competition. I will work on a different team, however, to try to get to that specific point. So Mewtwo would have been a perfect example for a Pokemon to use for that competition, and now I quite really can't. That's fine. Gives me the ability to try to think of other ideas on how I can actually win in that competition. So that's kind of one of the last things that'll happen later on for Coliseum itself, but it'll be much later because I still actually need to do all of the next game, all of Coliseum, and then all of Pokemon XD. I don't know why I said next game, because I'm fairly certain you guys know what next game is going to be anyways, which is Pokemon Emerald. But that's neither here nor there in the conversation. So unless you guys specifically have a reason for me to return back to LeafGreen, next episode will be the last episode. At least, next episode will be the last regular episode of LeafGreen. There is another reason for me to return to Pokemon LeafGreen, but that is much, much later on. We'll see you guys next time around.